All right, what's up, everyone? This is Jose Trujillo, world's greatest living artist, baby. Good morning, everyone. Here we go, baby. This is hammer time. Hammer time. Hammer time. It's hammer time, baby. What do we talk about in hammer time? Well, hammer time is the time when we do all kinds of cool stuff, man. We talk about all kinds of cool stuff. Today we're going to be talking with Chanel Cruiser. We're going to ask her right now how to pronounce her last name. She's an artist, and she's going to be joining us. Also, because this is hammer time. So, hammer time. I get to talk to you guys about all this craziness that's happening around town. In my personal life and in my awesome studio. Those of you who are artists, you guys more than likely understand what I'm talking about. Earlier I was doing a little video on habits. You do your habits, baby. You do not do your wants, your ifs, even your musts. You don't even do your musts. Nobody does their musts. Like, I must. That's not true. I think I used to believe that. I think I heard it from what's his name? What's this dude's name? What's this dude's name? Yeah, what's this dude's name? What's his name? My God, what's his name? Tony Robbins, baby. Tony Robbins. I heard it from Tony Robbins. He's like, you only do your musts, and I'm like, man, that makes total sense. So I was under the impression that we only do our musts. I was under that impression. I was like, we only do our musts. And then I realized, dude, you don't do your musts. Nobody does their musts. You know, I must absolutely do this. I don't think you do your musts. I don't think anybody does their musts. I think we have musts that we don't do. Quite frankly. I think we do our habits. We are creatures of habit. If you feel like working or you don't feel like working, it doesn't matter. Is it a habit? Is it a habit? Because if it's a habit, whether you feel like it or you don't feel like it, you're going to do it. You know? If it's a habit. People that experience vices or things like that, they know that, right? I used to smoke cigarettes. I used to like smoke, right? Like chain smoke, like smoke forever. And I mean that's a habit, right? It's a habit. It was something that I had to do. It wasn't something that maybe I'll smoke a cigarette today. Maybe not. Maybe not. No, it was I had to light one up, right? Because it's a habit. It's a habit. People that drink, it's the same thing. I'm sure they don't feel like drinking. It's like, oh my God, it's not time to drink. I don't think they even want to drink. You know, when I used to smoke, I didn't even want to smoke. It was such a habit that I needed to smoke, not wanted. I didn't want to. I needed to. It felt like I needed to, right? That was a feeling because the habit was so strong that it felt like I needed to. What's up? So you don't do your wants, your ifs, your musts, your absolute musts. That's not true. I don't think so. I think most of us have dreams and aspirations and things that we want to accomplish, and they are very much musts in our lives. Like, man, I need to take care of this. I need to take care of my kids. I need to take care of my wife, and on and on and on and on. But do we do them? No, we don't. And then we feel all fucking sad about ourselves, right? We're like, oh my God, man, I didn't take care of this, or my kids, or you know, I love them so much. They're the most important thing in my life, or whatever, right? And then we feel like shit. We're like, oh man, and so I want to invite people to understand this, guys. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's not that you don't want things to happen differently. I know that you do. You know, the drug user wants to stop using drugs. The person that has a problem with alcohol, they want to stop abusing alcohol, or using it completely, right? They want to. I am 100% sure of that. They want to. It's just that fighting a habit, right? It's a real fucking challenge. Fighting a habit is a real thing. It's no joke, right? So one of the things that I've noticed is you don't fight habits. You create new ones. You know, like, oh, I got the habit that every time I start getting momentum, I drop the ball, right? That's not something you have to fight, right? Don't fight that one. Don't fight the habit that every time you get things going, you drop the ball. Don't fight that one. It's a lost cause. Create a new one that you're always getting things going. You know, that you're always on purpose, that you're always, like, create new habits. This is something that I've been learning lately, guys. You know? Because many of us get trapped in this whole, man, things aren't working, so I must not really want it, or I'm a loser. And it's not that, guys. It's not like don't sit there and cry and mope about it. You know, we tend to do that. We're like, oh my God, I really wanted this, but I guess I don't. I'm a loser. And it's like, dude, no. You have a set of habits. That's all. And I wouldn't even fight those habits personally, right? Talking about myself. I wouldn't even fight the bad ones. The ones that don't serve me, I wouldn't even fight those. Those are fucking lost causes. They're already created. They're already ingrained, right? I wouldn't even fight those habits. I'd go and create new habits. I love that. I want to get into the habit of art success. Hell yeah. So, you know, I wouldn't even create that habit. I wouldn't even be like, oh, I'm going to create that habit. I wouldn't even do that. I mean, I wouldn't even fight the habit. I'd create a new habit. That's what I meant. What was I talking about? Because man, look at my hair. It's all like, because fighting an old habit is fighting an old conditioning. And why fight it? Why fight it? You know? Like, oh man, I do this all the time. I'm always late. Yeah, don't fight it. Create a new one. Create an I'm always early habit, but don't worry about the I'm always late. Right? That habit is going to eventually get squeezed out of it. If you create a new one, the new one's gonna squeeze it out. Like, just create new ones. You know, I've realized this in my artistic career. I realized this. There's all these things that we want. You know, all these things that I want, and they seem to be close but far. Sometimes, they're like, man, I wanna get all these gallery exhibits, right? I wanna sell these paintings at this price points. I want success, right? And I want these specific things, right? I want the specific things, and I want to create a life that I'm so proud of, and that, and this and that or whatever, right? And I started realizing, man, how am I going to do it if every time I'm doing this shit pops up, right? And I was like, how do I fight this? How do I fight this? How do I take care of this? How do I remove this? Maybe you talk to yourself really bad. Maybe you tell yourself, man, I'm not really good at it. I'm not really good. I'm not as great as Jose Trujillo, world's greatest living artist. Maybe you tell yourself that, Maybe you tell yourself, I'm not as great as Jose Trujillo, world's greatest living artist. And then you get sad and you're like, I can't lose like him. Fuck this. And then you throw your stuff away. And then you go pick it up later and you're like, okay, well, maybe I'm going to try this again. Well, look, guys, here's what I'm trying to... Here's what I want to tell you. I love that. Danny says, my habits changed when I started seeing your live videos and taking your advice. I love that. Yeah, I love that. Makes my habits work. So instead of feeling like bad or sorry about yourself and be like, oh my God, I don't wanna do this, fuck my habits. Instead of doing that, be like, dude, what can I do? What new habit can I create so that I can kick some serious ass? What new habits can I create? Can I create a new habit? A mucho bueno habit? All right, so maybe I talk to myself really shitty every day, right? Maybe I tell myself I'm not, you don't necessarily do that, but maybe I constantly say, run this commentary, this fucking monologue in my mind, right? Because it's this monologue happening that I'm not good enough. Dude, you're not good enough. Just let it go. You're not as good as Jose Trujillo, world's greatest living artist. Or whatever, whatever you tell yourself. We all tell ourselves shitty stuff. You're not a good father, not a good son, man. When am I going to get better at this? Man, I fucked up again, like on and on and on and on. And I'm like, you know what? Don't even worry about those. Don't be vigilant about those. Create new ones. Maybe create a habit where you tell yourself once a day. I'm not even going to say like 10 times a day. Once a day, you tell yourself, I'm proud of myself. I've accomplished good things. It's a win, baby. It's a win. Boom, win. You stack it, right? And then maybe you make another habit where you read your goals to yourself. Once a day, baby. Just once a day. What are your goals? It'll only take you about a minute. What are your goals? What do you want out of life? You want to retire as an artist? You want to travel? You want a shitload of money? Maybe it's not about money. Maybe it's just you want happiness, baby. You want to be like, I'm going to retire and I'm going to travel as an artist and I'm going to become this influential artist or whatever. And maybe that's what you want, right? And because it looks different. Success looks different for everybody. It always looks different for everybody. One thing it has abundance, right? I always say this. Success has abundance. Either abundance of something. Happiness, wealth, health. There's abundance happening. That's how I picture success in my brain. It's a path of abundance. There's abundance in something, recognition or help or whatever. There's something happening that either it's happening to you or you're creating, where there's an abundance happening. So create a habit of telling yourself these things, right? This man, I really wanted that, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen, or you didn't remind yourself of it often. That's another one. By the way, Chanel is going to be joining us today. Just another reminder for those of you, Chanel is an artist who I find really cool. And she's working and pushing and shoving, man. She's doing her thing, and I wanna be able to talk to artists. So I want to be able to talk to artists who are doing the work, I don't just want to talk to artists who are talking about doing the work. I want to talk to artists who are doing the work, and I think Chanel is an artist that I don't think I know. Chanel's an artist that is doing that. She's putting in the work, and so she's gonna be joining us today. I started. I don't know if I got the times right or wrong. I try to get the time right, but I'm not quite sure yet. Reading a book on Matisse and Picasso, they had similar conflicts as we do. Absolutely, Richard. It's the same stuff. It's the same stuff. It's the same conflicts. One thing for sure that I've noticed with artists who accomplish big things, they have very, very high-end habits. Very high-end. And what I mean high-end is that they kick some serious ass. They get into the groove of creating new habits. Picasso had a saying. He said, I'm always doing the impossible. That's how I get it done. And I think what he was talking about is that he was stretching himself in his habits. He was stretching himself. You know how some people are who said this? Weightlifters like Arnold and Ed Milet. They talk about this kind of stuff. They say that they always push extra, right? They always do the extra. And as they do the extra, that extra mile, that extra set of reps and weight lifts or whatever they're doing, they form this habit of always moving beyond their perceived limitations, right? They're doing the extra. Last night I did the extra. Normally I would do, a few watercolors. Last night I did over 100 watercolor paintings, right? At night, okay? At night. Now, some people would be like, you're fucking bananas. There's no way. Well, there is way. I did it. Now, are they big? No, they're small. They're like little watercolors, right? But I did over 100 of them. How do you do that? Well, first of all, I went and had carne asada. Those of you who don't know what carne asada is, it's a Mexican classic. It's steak, right? So it's like a barbecue steak. It's not barbecue, but like on a grilled steak. And I visited my sister, and we had some steak. I had a beer. I was like, I hadn't done that in a long time, right? When I just kind of sit there and just kind of like chit chat, and there was my family was there, my other brother, my sisters, and we just kind of chit chatted for like, I don't know. I hadn't done that in a while. It was like 3 hours. And I usually go in and out. I'm like, hey, what's up, everybody? Bye, right? But I stayed there for like 3 hours, man. And I had this really cool dinner. And by the time I got home, it was like 7 p.m., right? Yesterday. It's Sunday night for us here in the States. It was 7 p.m., 7:30, something like that. We got home. My wife started working online, right? Because she's relentless. She works so much. And I pulled out. I have a watercolor kit at home, right? Because I'm always prepared. That's part of my habit, right? I'm always prepared. So I have a watercolor kit at home. And that way when I have like downtime, I don't have downtime, right? Downtime doesn't exist for moi. And I was like, what do I do? I was like, push beyond your limitations, dude. So I wanted to go to sleep, right? Because I was like full. I had like this great meal. And I wanted to sit there and watch TV and just prepare for the next day. And I was like, fuck that. I've done that too much. I've done that too long, right? That's been the story of my life. Chill. Just chill, dude. Just chill. Watch some Netflix and chill. Now that means something else now today. I understood that. I just found that out not long ago. Urban Dictionary. And I was like, dude, do something. Kick some ass. I was like, all right, let's kick some ass. Let's kick some ass. And so I pulled out the watercolors, and I was like, 1 watercolor, 2 watercolors, 3 watercolors. Baby, I shit you not, I did over 100 watercolors. I think I did 120 something watercolors. How did I do that? Normally I have a hard time just doing 20. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta do 20 watercolors. Because you know, I'm crazy like that. Like, I do a lot of artwork every day. And I was like, how do I do? I mean, granted, I did go to sleep late, right? But how do you do that? How do you pass beyond your limitation where you're like, man, like, I want to go to sleep. I don't even want to do one, right? I didn't even want to do 1 watercolor. How did I end up doing over 100 of them? Asada burritos. Yeah. It wasn't burritos, though. It was just a steak and some tortillas. But I wish there were burritos, too. And so how do you do that? How do you go past? You know how? You stop thinking about it. It's the thinking, man. It's the thinking that kills it. It's not the physical. It's the thinking. The physical can get done if you remove the thinking. You are much more capable than you think you are. But you just, you know, you tend to think a lot. You tend to think, oh my God, what am I going to paint? Oh, I got to find a reference photo. This is what most artists do. And I joke about it because I have license to joke about it. That's how I spent half of my career. Oh, I gotta find a reference photo. Oh my God, a reference photo. I'm gonna paint the portrait. Oh my God, I need a reference photo. And it would take me like 3 hours to find a reference photo. That used to be my story. Not no more, baby. Not no more. You know why? Because the more you do, the more you can do, right? So you start realizing that yeah, okay, you need a reference photo, but it ain't that serious, dude. You know, it ain't that serious. It ain't that crazy. You know, you get your reference photo, but it shouldn't take you hours. It shouldn't even take you minutes. Like, I don't know, go on Google and get a reference photo, sure, whatever, you know. But like, don't go bananas. You're gonna have to change it up anyways, right? Because of copyright issues. You're gonna have to change it up. You're not gonna have to, like, you can't copy the reference photo. You're just gonna use it as a reference, as a point of reference. You're gonna have to change it up. You're gonna be like, oh, okay, well, I'm using this reference photo, but maybe the person can have long hair, or maybe the person can have a necklace, or maybe the puppy can be wagging the tail and looking the opposite direction. Like, by the way, that's a major tip I'm sharing with you guys here. That's how you use reference photos. You have to change them up, right? So you end up changing them up anyways. You have to do some major changes on them. So why sweat bullets? Why sweat so much about it if you're going to have to change it up? So one day I came to terms that I was like, man, I know what's happening. I know exactly what's happening. What's happening is that there is a lot of perfectionism created, and so this perfectionism creates procrastination, right? And I was like, but why? But why, baby? Well, because you don't have habits. Maybe you don't have habits on. You know, your habits are negative self-talk. Everyone's habits, by the way. I talk to myself really fucking bad from time to time, right? So how do I fix this? Well, oh my God, I gotta catch myself not talking negative. You know what? Fuck that. It's too hard. I've tried it. What if I start creating habits where I talk to myself in a positive way and kind of flush that shit out? Flush it out. You know? Flush it out. I know. Daddy Rock says, dude, I think way too much and wind up doing zip nada. Yeah. I needed to hear this. Yeah. We all do this, you know. Me as a full-time artist, achieving some sort of success in my life, that I consider success, I realize this, you know. I'm like, dude, how come you do this to yourself? And I used to mope and get upset and just you know, punch walls every now and then. and be like, this shit, this shit's stupid. And then one day I started realizing, dude, I think you're being too hard on yourself. And I'm a person that's very hard on, like I don't like people driving me. I drive myself, right? I don't like people telling me what to do. Like I wake up early and I go to sleep late because I don't want anyone driving me. I'm nobody's donkey, right? I can do it. I can do it. I don't need anyone to tell me, hey, go to work. Fuck that. I'll go to work. And I'll work 10 times harder than anyone around me. So, by saying that, I also realized this, that being hard on yourself, like I've been hard on myself, doesn't mean that you should be hard on yourself, if this makes any sense. Like, be hard on yourself with habits, not with negativity, if this makes any sense. Like, be hard on yourself with habits, not with negativity. This is a major tip right here I'm sharing with you guys. Like, don't be like, oh man, fuck this, I can't do this. Come on, put your shit together, man. Let's do this. Like, don't be hard on yourself like that. That's very negative. Be hard on yourself with activity, right? Have goals set, have habits. Most importantly, have habits, and be hard on yourself with those habits. You brush your teeth at least twice a day. Why not read your goals twice a day? Why not read your goals? What do you want as an artist? Read them twice a day. If you don't, you're gonna forget. You're gonna forget, and you're gonna remember some messed up reason as to why you were an artist in the first place, and it's gonna be fragmented every time. Like, man, I want to be an artist because I want to create, great artwork, and shit, I want abundance. I want lots of income. I love income. And so if that's what you want, if you're crazy like me and you're willing to say shit like that, then say it to yourself, Say it to yourself. Say, baby, I want to get paid. I want that moolah, baby. I want to get paid. Is it about that? No, but I want to have that too, because, it can't just be about that, but shit, man, I want that. I want it. So if that's something that you want, why not remind yourself that you want that? Why not remind yourself that you want that? We go through life not telling ourselves what we want. We go through life telling ourselves what we suck at. Like, I ain't good at that. Oh, I was never good at that. I mean, just drive an Uber, or not drive an Uber. I mean, get on an Uber or a Lyft and talk to someone for a little bit. You'll realize, not to be mean or anything, because there's people that love doing that. I know some business owners that just do it for fun. But some people that are like, oh, I wanted to be an artist. Like, I hear this at least once a week, because I use these services every day, twice a day, right? And I hear this at least once a week. Oh, you're an artist? Because, we start chatting, right? Some rides are longer, I'm sorry. And we start chatting, and they're like, oh, you're an artist? Oh, man, I want to be an artist. Or I have a cousin who wanted to be an artist. I was never good at any of that. I don't know what I'm good at. I don't think I'm really good at anything. And it's like, dude, you're good at something. You're good at something just as I'm good as an artist. There's something that you're really good at. And you don't give yourself credit. You know why? Because we have this negative chat, baby. This negative chatter. We don't give ourselves credit. We tell ourselves all this bullshit all the time. We tell ourselves that we're not good enough. That oh, my wife said I should get a real job. I'm like, what do you mean a real job? Like, I've heard artists tell me, like, but do you have a real job? I'm like, dude, fuck you. This is my real job. What are you talking about? Do you have a real job? Like, you don't even wake up at the time I wake up, Like, what are you talking about? My ass is up at 4 a.m. Ready to go make some artwork, answer emails, and like, do my stuff, do my thing. And so we don't give ourselves enough credit, And so we go through our day having this really negative chatter, as opposed to, hey, you know what? I'm not going to be hard on myself anymore. I'm going to be hard on my goals. I'm going to be hard on my habits. Fuck yeah. You know, tell yourself that. I'm going to be hard on my habits. I'm going to form new habits, and I'm going to be hard on my habits. But I'm not going to be hard on myself. I don't need to be hard on myself because I am my habits. You know who said this? Fucking Aristotle said this. You know, you need someone as old as Aristotle to tell you this. You are but the result of your habits. You are the greatness, he said. Was it Aristotle? It was one of those two fuckers. It was either Aristotle or Plato or Socrates, but I think it was Aristotle. You are only the result of your habits. You are the result of your habits, baby. So, I'll leave you guys with that. All right? Peace. Talk to you in a bit.